we understood the basics of how to print a message. So messages are single quotes. This is called code cell. Okay, this is all the code cell, and this is called text. Okay, section, we created the sections. So if you have a text itself as a single quotes, then you usually put them across the double quotes to ensure that string accepts the single quotes. Otherwise, you get an error. We also understand the relation operators. We understand how to use the relation operators in conjunction with the text. This is your text followed by your arithmetic operators. We also understood the BIDMAS rule because we have a multiple operator, how Python is going to solve them. If you need to override the BIDMAS rule, then you need to use the brackets. Brackets will ensure that takes a higher precedence over the normal operation. Variables, also we understood variables are the placeholders. They are summarized. Remember, the values you're getting stored. So we also understood different ways to create a variables, different ways to assign a variable. This is one value, one variable, one value. See, how many values a variables can hold at any time?
Only one value.
One value.
Only one.
At any given life of the time, it can hold only one value at any time. If you try to, this is the different ways. Three variables is the three different inputs, three different values. Here, three variables with the same value given. So we also understood what is a variables, how to assign a variables. Then there is something called data types. Kind of data variable holds, or kind of information, kind of data represents the data type. So we understood how to find it. This is very easy to find it. And also we understood the relational operators, or like comparison operators. Double equals, so this is very important. People quite often make a mistake using the single operator. We should use a double operator to compare the values. Less than, greater than, not equal to, we can compare it. So this is what we learned in last 2 days. Very fundamentals. I went very slow. Still I go very slowly today. There is something called the relation operators. What are the relation operators? Whenever I want to compare 2 or 3 times, example, two or three conditions. So when you have this variable, this condition, you have an opportunity to test only for A is equal to B, correct? And we have another variable. Example, I have a variable another called 100, C called 100. Let me run it. So all of you guys started practicing this. Is not like watching the videos. Anyone is not yet started? Anyone of you not started it? Okay, silence as I answer. All of you started. Seriously, guys, don't delay. Okay, today you must. Okay, if at all you are not started, I believe everyone started. If at all you was not started, today you must start. Okay, A is equal to B. So what is it? Is it A is equal to B? No, then why it is saying false? And I need to check. Also, A is also is equal to C. So I have two operator I'm using, two relational operator, two conditions I'm checking. So whenever you want to do two relational checks using AND, what is the meaning of an AND? AND is called a relational operators, is trying to check whether both your expressions are true. If both expressions are true, then only it will come true. Otherwise, it comes false. Is A is equal? Okay, I'll do one thing. Is A is less than B? Yes, A is less than B. It resulted into true. And A is also less than C. Is it true or false? It's also true. Then if both your this is called expressions are true, then only it resulted into true. That's the reason and is a kind of a must, and is kind of must operator. What is a must? Means all the expressions you have should be met true, then only it will resulted into true. Otherwise, it resulted into false. Okay, so clear. So what will happen now? One of the expression I'll make it fall. A is greater than 20 or greater than 50, and A is less than 10 or less than or equal to 10. So what will happen in this case? This expression is false. Second expression is true. So what it is resulted into? It resulted into false, because whenever using an and, all your expression should be true. That's why it's called
True.
must operator. Okay, all operations, all expressions should be true. Okay, so you remember your AND gate in your colleges? AND gate, how do you write your AND gate?
True.
Logical
True.
operators, remember, true, false, yeah? So true, false, true, true,
Zero zero
true,
zero
false,
one 101.
yeah, 0, 1 also. Here we don't have that zero concept, we have true,
True.
false
False.
concept. Okay, logical, yeah.
True.
So true resulted into true for
False.
any, whenever using and,
One false.
all your expression should be true. Otherwise, it resulted into false.
False.
This is also false, this is also false. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So same way, we have another operator. Anyone, any question, anyone please? Someone is messaging me. Rajeshwari, apprentices I have not started. What happened? Huh? Today start. Never the worry. Start today. Hmm? Okay. I use OR operator. Let's see how our same example I take. What is OR operator, by the way?
If one condition is true,
Okay.
it will be
Either,
true.
yeah, one of the expression, not all. One of the expression should be true. So what is the meaning here? In any one case, it is true. It is resulting into true. True, false is also true, because only expression is once is enough. One have enough. FT also T.
True.
Only false will be resulted into false. Let's see. A is greater than 100 or A is less than B. So here one of the expression, which expression is true, which expression is false?
Second expression is true. First expression is false.
A is less than B.
Okay. So if one of the expression is true, the result is resulted. See, we are just checking either of the condition. That's it. So one of the condition is resulted into true, the answer is resulted. This is fails, still fine, because I have a false or true resulted into true only, because as per the OR gate, one of the expression is either. That's what we use the terminology called either. Let's see. A is less than B or A is greater than C. So here also what happened? First expression, B and mute, who was it? T or F resulted into. Okay. First expression is true. That is enough. Second may or may not fall. You will not be worried. Sir, can we use only two? Can we use more than two? Yes, you can use more than 2, 3, whatever. A is less than 10, less than or equal to 10, or is less than or equal to 20, or C is greater than or equal to 100. You can use any number of operator, but again the formula is the same. If you're using an AND, all the expression should be true. If you're using an OR, either of the one expression should be true. Clear? Any question here? All of you had your breakfast?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Luckiest fellows. Hmm. So what you're doing is, by the way, just 1 minute, I just take a pause, don't mind. Okay, so we
Okay, sir.
understood and OR. And is kind of a must operator you should use together. All your expression should be true. If you're using an OR, one of the expression is true, then it resulted into true. What will happen if you use and dot together? Let's see, I give a very good example. A is less than B or A is less than C, and C is equal to 100. How this problem? See, I have and dot together. What will happen? I have both operator here.
Yeah, first it will go for or and next it is go for and.
Why it is so?
First it will go for or, sir. Like it will come one statement, true or false. Then it will compare to the third statement. Then it will get one statement. And
Okay. So what is the expected output in this case? True?
A is less than B. Yes. True. A is greater than C. False. True. False. It is
No.
Sir.
true.
True.
C is equal to 100. True. True. True, sir.
True,
You will
sir.
go
True.
for-
Get an error.
C is
Why?
equal to 100.
Double equal. Yeah?
Double equal. False.
What is happening? You have an and or together. Please, you have to mute. Mano, Mohan or your. It echoes to me. I cannot speak. Whenever you want to speak, unmute and speak. Okay. And again back to mute. See, whenever you're using air and together, and is a big boss, big brother. He makes a stronger bond towards the left and right side. First bond this happens this way. What is this condition is going to be? A is greater than C? No. This resulted into false, and this resulted into false. The result is false. And or is. See, whenever you're using and or together, please remember the and is takes a higher precedence over the or. Okay. Now I wanted to make and is higher precedence over or. So you wanted to make or should be executed first. What we should do? Put them in bracket. Now the moment you put in a bracket, it is going to take C. So now what I do is I'll not disturb this example. I'll take the other example. I put it here. So this is makes one bond and other makes the other bond. You run it. Okay. Both are false. That's fine. Still, this is why it is false. Is here one of the expression. Okay. See, this is here. Both these expressions are false still. Okay, that's why. So A is I make it less than C. Now your output will be different. Let's see. True. Because A is less than C. One of the condition I should make true in both of them. I don't know what to do. Okay. So what is I'm trying to say is whenever using an and, you must be ensure or and together. You should not leave unattended because it's released into great errors. Better you put whenever you wanted to execute or first. Otherwise, it is going to make a bond. Okay. So that's where you have to make sure. 1 minute, let me change that. So yeah, that is false. Let me use this one here with the brackets. Let's see what will happen. So one of the expression is true, then false. Why it is false? A is greater than not greater. A is equal to 10. Why it should be resulted into true, no? And C is not equal to, come on, C is equal to 100. C is equal to 100. Again, true. I don't know how to put that example. Again, both will be false. Okay, I don't know. I will come back later. But what I'm trying to say is you have to use your OR operator whenever using OR operator. Ensure that use a bracket. Otherwise, and is it takes a higher precedence over the OR. It will resulted into different results. Clear? Any question here? Clear? Fine. Let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is another way called input operator. Let's see. I put a section, create, go and create a section. Say input function. Okay. That input function. Okay. So there is an see how do you create a variable? You assign a values to a variable, it get created. A is equal to 10. A is a variable, it's going to have your data type, okay, of 10. Okay. So how do you find a data type of a variable?
Type.
Type of A. Okay. A gives you the value, type of A gives your data type of the variable. Clear? These two are, everyone is clear, yes? Hello guys,
Yes, sir.
say yes at least in the chat
Yes,
itself, no
Yes,
worries.
sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so instead of assigning the values like this, I'm going to accept from the keyboard. Okay, let's see how to accept the value from the keyboard. A is equal to input, there is a function of, you need to write a message. Please enter the value for A. Run it. So it asks you to, this message is coming from whatever you give it here, it is coming here. Please enter the value for A. I'm going to say 10. So print the value of A. Just message it. So what is the return type? What do you think about it? What could be the data type of the values coming here? You get a value A. What is the data type of a variable A?
Int.
Deepashri, Mohan.
Int, sir.
Mhm. See where it is, the data is enclosed across the single quotes. If data is across the enclosed single quotes, what is the data type?
String.
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 String. See, even though you input a data into a input function, it will always accept as string output. String input, sorry. One more thing you need to understand is whenever you print a data, you need to give an attention to the output what it is producing. It's not like simply print and go. You need to look at the output, where how the data is coming, because you need to understand what is an output of these functions. So whatever you return, it is going to do a returning the string only. Let's see, I have two variables. By default, I write it here, your understanding. Default return type of input function is string. Okay, now I have another variable. B is equal to input. Please enter the value for B. Let's understand. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do is A plus B. I have to do A plus, what's the expected output you get? I do an addition of A plus B. What you get an output? I enter value 10, 10. What you going to get?
20 you'll get, and it will
20 you get. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's run it. What happened? Something went wrong. I think it had an internet issue. I think it started running. Oh. No, I don't know what happened. Let me reconnect. Let me close this one. Not be saved. What happened? Something I don't know what is happening. Busy. Waiting to finish the current execution. Python 3 Google Complete Engine backend. Okay, what is trying to do? I don't know. Let me load it one more time. Just give me time. I don't think it is opening. There is a notes. Your notes. Okay, input function. So I run it now. It's starting building again. Just give me a minute. Busy. I don't know why internet or something went wrong. I don't know what happened. Okay, it is asking now. Fine. 10 and Ayo, what is clocking? What happened to my machine? Busy. Mm. Mm-hmm. I don't know, guys. Something really went wrong. Mhm. Keyboard interrupt error. Okay, let's run it now one more time. Waiting for finish the current execution. Come on. Really, I don't know. Internet is went down, or can you hear me, anyone? Or I don't know what
Yes,
is
sir.
happening.
Yes, sir.
Mm. Let me close my. Can you give me 1 minute? Let me close all my browsers. Later on, okay. So I have a variable a is equal to input is accepts the input from the keyboard. Enter the value for a, and I have another variable. Enter the value for b. So I'm going to say a plus b. You don't get a addition of the output. You get a something else. What is something else? Let's see. So what I'm expecting 5 plus 5 10, but you get a value of 5 plus 5 5. Why? Because the output is not a number to addition. It is output is a string, as I said here. So when you put 10 comma 10, let's see what will happen. 10 is your number. Oh, 10 is your number. Again you put another 10. You expecting the value is 20, but it is giving 10 10. What is happening is they called string operations. It is not a number operations. What is happening? This is a string. How to represent a string type? Single quotes, you represent a single. Just you print a comma b, you see them data is printing the single quotes. Okay, so the data is printing in the single quotes. Here you have a string, two strings you add, it will not going to do an arithmetic addition. In fact, you're using a string concatenation. It is just appending the string one to other. This is not an addition, it is called string concat. What is the meaning of the concatenation? Concatenation. String concat, that's fine. It is just appending one string next to that. That's it. Example, take other example, SQL. Just say plus Python. So just appending the two strings. This is called string concatenation. But actually, you wanted to do an arithmetic addition here. But since the data is accepted as a string, what it is doing? String concatenation doing. So you want to convert string to integer. Okay, what we should do? There is something called typecasting. Okay, typecasting, we call it typecasting. Typecasting means converting from one data type into other. Okay. So how do you convert int of a? This is a type will give the type of the data type. That's all we know. Type of a comma type of b. Even you to print a comma b. Let's understand how the data is coming. Let's run quickly one more time. Take the value 4. Take the value 7. So you're not finding the value numbers. It is all string. Look at here. The data is expected. Always input takes a data in the form of a string. So when you try to do an addition, you expect the string concatenation. We already seen. Not going to do an addition. It does the string concatenation. How the string concatenation work? But really, I want to do an arithmetic. I don't want to string because they are actually numbers. So for that, we have something called typecasting. I'm saying convert a into b and convert a into integer and convert b into integer and run that. Let's see what will happen now. 4 entered, other 4 entered. So can you make the difference between these two and these two? There is a difference. What is the difference?
Strings
These
are
are
numbers,
strings,
not
these
integer.
are the numbers. Now if I do a number addition of these two, definitely you see an output of 8, or whatever I give 10, I give 10, 10. Output you get 20. So I'll also do an addition here. It is doing a string concatenation because still they are string here. I'm converting one data type into other data type, that is called typecasting. Why do you need to do typecasting? This is the same reason. Whenever you want to do a particular operation, example numeric operations, string operations, so then the case we are going to use typecasting, type conversion. Clear? So let's understand what is the example. What is this number type? What is the data type of this?
Float.
Float is. So I want to convert this into integer. Put that integer. It is removes the decimal points and only you get an integer. What is the data type of this? What is this? Integer is. I want to convert it into string. str stand for strings. Convert into string. It is put in across a single quotes. Example, you have a string. String is 45. You want to convert into integer. You put across the int. Convert that to int. So why do we this? Is the interpretation of the operator is different from one to other. So how now you understand the basic how to do a typecasting? Or anyone question? What will happen if you convert bool? Boolean. What are the Boolean values we have
0 and 1.
in
Yes.
Python?
True or false.
True or false? Yes, there is no 0 1. Capital true. T is in capital. F is in capital. True, false we have. So whenever you convert an integer into Boolean, it's going to true. All non-zeros values, including the negative numbers, will be converted into true. Only the 0 is converted into false. This is a very basic things you should be remember. Only 0 represents false. All numbers, including negative numbers, everything represents a true value. Clear about typecasting? I'll explain you more example why we should do a typecasting. 1 minute, let me open that notes. I don't know. I still believe what happened to that notes. Okay, I'll come back. So now let's see string operations will perform. Let's see what is how the operator behave differently. That's called something polymorphism, operator loading, something we'll understand string operations. Okay. So now I have two strings. What are the two strings we have? A is a variable of string called 10. Okay. B is a variable of data type 20. When I do a plus b, what do you expect? 30 or 10, 20?
10, 20.
10, 20.
Because it is not a numbers to add, it's going to do a string concatenation. Okay. Now the same string I have a, I'm going to multiply by 5. What will happen? 50? 50 or what you expect? It will not go to 50. It is going to give value 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. What is it meaning? It is going to do a repetition. Okay. So why this is behaving is there is a data type making a difference. So very, very important concept you need to understand is data types decides what kind of an operation it should be performed. Got it? Data type decides what kind of an operations to be performed. Here it is doing a string concatenation. It does a string repetition. The same variables of a different data type. Let's see. I'm taking a value 10. I'm taking a value 20. When I do a plus b, they're doing a number addition, arithmetic addition. When I do a multiplication of a number, it does the multiplication, not the repetition. So who makes the decision what needs to be done? How a Python needs to know, should be knowing, I should do a string concatenation, string repetition, number addition, number multiplication. Who makes the decision?
Data type.
Data type. That's what Data type is a vital part of your programming, not you. For you, it is nothing. But Python to operate itself, Python to behave the way it's supposed to behave, data type plays a significant role. That's why this is fundamental. You should be understanding what are the data type. Data types are the one first thing they decides kind of an operations to be performed. So here one more concept I'm telling here. The same operator, this operator, all of you agree with me? Arithmetic operators, but it defined it different, behave differently. Here it does the repetition, the concatenation. Here it does the addition and the multiplication. This is called operator. What is operator here in this two example? Plus and multiplication your operator. Overloading. Overloading means it behave differently in different situations. It's called operator overloading. That is only the most fundamental programming concept. In every programming we have it. Who makes the decision what kind of operations to be performed is sole decision of the data type. If you mishandle the data type, what will happen? You get a different output, because based on the data type only, Python will be making the decision what kind of an operation is supposed to be doing. Look at here, this is a typical example. If you do not convert that into, this also cells, you can move your cells up and down, arrow. Okay, first I teaching your data type typecasting, then I'm going to teach you what the okay, this is an example of here typecasting. Okay, then I'm teaching you that. I'm going to club that into an here, don't worry, I'll put that into down here and I'll send the notes. Okay, so any question about data typing, typecasting? What is a data type operator? This is called operator overloading, where a same operator is behaving differently based on the data type. Clear, or any question here? Everyone understood? What will happen when, what is the default data type of a variable through the input value input through the input function? String. It accepts only the string format. You cannot convert into integer. So you want to really convert the data into an integer, what you should do? Typecasting. So there is another easy way to do a typecasting. I'll show that here. Here I'll add a section notes called typecasting. Okay. So this anyway, I'll club this into, I'll send the both notes together. So what I'm trying to say, I forgot. Easy way to do this kind of an in this one, instead of doing it here like this, it is go, see, value of a will be converted into integer and you are making an addition. So you can also make this variables, the data you get. This is what at this stage, what is the data type the Python get you? String data type, correct? So this one I'm going to convert it into an integer here itself. This is called nesting. What I'm doing, always inner functions get executed first. What is happened? First this function get executed. It supplies example, I enter the value 5. This will be converted into integer. How use a typecasting is going to convert. Let's see. I use these things both together. Int a, I'm going to put convert the value which is coming from the input function into an integer. Okay, let's try to run now. So a comma b and a plus b, 10 and 10. So the data type, you see, that's what I say. You need to always look at the data, how the data is presented. Very, very important, because simply if data is a string, you expect a string operation is going to perform. When data is in the numerical format, numerical thing is going to be expected. That's the reason it is very, very important. You should also give an attention what is the output is coming. And data type plays, as of now, you understood only one thing. What is the use of the data types in a programming? Anyone can, just I'll pause. Anyone can try to
Using type function.
Type of
using a type function. Okay, so I hope all of you understood the data type and what is how it will be. I explain you next 15 minutes. Very important concept. Very, very fundamentally how Python works. If without knowing this, the whole purpose of learning Python is a waste. Okay, dynamic data type, dynamic typecasting, dynamic type programming. What is that meaning of dynamic type program? So any of you from different background here, Java or anything, you know, all of any one of you? No one knows anything. Oh, fine. Really don't know. No one knows any programming here. Wonderful. Then I need not to teach this. Okay. See, did I ever tell A is an integer? Did any time I told it A is going to be an integer? Did I mention A should be a data type of integer?
No.
No. Then how Python is making a decision? A is a type of an integer data type. So based on the data you give, it's nevertheless in Java and other programming language, in Java, other programming like C, Java or C++, we have something called data type declaration. You remember, if at all you learned, you would have been declared in a college. It's just A is an int, A is an int, B is a double, or B is a double, and C is a string or a character. You have remember, I think if at all you learned any programming languages other than the Python, these are the things would have been done again and again over the period of time. This is called data type declaration. You are going to make a declaration of a variables of a particular data type. This is called data type declaration. Sorry, variable declaration. You are declaring variables declarations. So why you are declaring? First of all, you are going to tell a particular programming language, going forward, please treat A as an integer, B as a double. Double we call usually float. If you don't know double, just make it as a float. C as a character, sorry, string. So these are the things you are going to tell exclusively to the programming language going forward. A is going to be int, B is going to be a float, C is going to be a string. After that, what internally a Java or a C++ C program makes, it knows that whenever you wanted to do an B into 10, what is going to do? Number addition, correct? Because you told that it is going to be integer. So based on your declaration of a variable, it is going to do particular number addition, because operator behavior will operator behavior will be determined based on the data type. Here it is determined age of an integer, it is going to do the number addition. The same function I do it on a string. I'll take an example of multiplication. It does the number multiplication. But what is does going to do for the C? For C, the string, what is going to do? String repeated. No, I'm doing multiplication, not addition. Repetition. His number is going to repeat it here. Where is the repetition? Here, see, A is repeated for 5 times, correct? So you can also try one more time. This is my SQL is a string. I repeat for multiply by 10. What is going to happen? It is going to repeat for 10 times. SQL. Whenever you do a multiplication string, it is going to repetition. So based on your variable declaration, the program will start behaving differently. If you do this, I think you're not observe these things when you are learning your Java or C++. So that's why it is very, very, how we have an heart as a vital organ of your body. Without heart, we cannot do anything. Yes. Okay. So sometimes the brain is also vital part. Every part is vital, but who controls most of the things? By heart controls many things. Here, without the data type, no programming can work, because it is unable to interpret, unable to make a decision what is the kind of an operation is supposed to do. That's the reason data types are so important. They make first decision is what is the kind of an operations to be performed. It's a sole decision by the data types that we understand. Next, so in Python, sorry, other than the Python, you are going to declare a variable like this. But did you ever declare a data type of a variable in Python? Did I tell any time A is an integer? Did I ever tell B is a float? B is a float. Did I never ever made a declaration B is going to be a float? Then who is making a decision? How it is making a decision? The decision is based on the value you give to the variable. Data type will be determined. That means it is at a runtime. Here, before using the variable in other programming languages, you must declare a data type of a variable to ensure that program behave appropriately based on your appropriately. Here in Python, you do not declare a data type of a variable. It is called dynamic type programming. That's why I use here dynamic type programming, and these are called static type programming. That means you must define yourself what is life of a. And one more thing, please remember, throughout the life of the program, a can accept only integer, because you already told a is an integer type, b is a float type, and string. Why, sir, this is they can accept only integer, why not other values? Anyone knows why? What is happening? When I declare a data type, you understood it is going to be a data type of integer, float, string. But throughout the life, I can only assign permissible values or integers. If you assign a float, it is going to cut down the float numbers. It is going to have only the whole numbers. It cannot, never the case, it cannot accept the integer or a string. It will not accept any case. Why? Anyone can help me, please? Why it will not accept any other values other than the prescribed data type? Anyone knows? Let's recollect from your college what you did learn. Try to learn. Let's recollect. Let's see. No, you did not learn. Huh? Really? You did not learn? No one learned from your college these concepts? I had to take your college computer science lectures numbers and ask what the hell you are teaching. This guy doesn't know what is the meaning of a data type. See, one more thing. Just ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ನನಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಕಳ್ಸಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ. Mail reply ಮಾಡಿ. I was told to have an issue. Could you please confirm that if that's not, I can plan. See, don't get it. It's started coming now. I don't know how much how you have to sit and review or not. Okay. But it will come. It will start coming flood like. Are you opening from the openings DB mailbox? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Okay, so resume, pause. I don't know which one is pause, which one is recording. Okay. Okay, so based on the data type, first it will start and allocating the memory. So how much memory needs to be allocated? Again, it is based on the data type. Example, integer needs 2 bytes. I'm going to tell what is the meaning of the 2 bytes. Floats need more spaces, probably it needs a 4 bytes. Integer string, based on the each character, it takes a 2 bytes per char. Okay. 1 minute. I think recording I messed up completely. Whenever I want to pause, I paused. Whenever I want to record, I recorded. Okay, let's see. Leave it. 1 minute. Oh, morning is crazy. Where is this guy? We have an office, nice office in Bangalore. We want to come and sit. Whenever you get a job, hopefully I get it for all of you. So based on the data type, first what thing, please remember, whenever you create a variable in programming language like other than the Python, you must be declare a data type of a variable. This is called a forward declaration. You are declaring a data type of a variable before using it. Why is such a way? That a programming needs to be known what is the kind of an operation is supposed to do. If it is an integer, it does the number, does the number related operation. If it is a string related operation. If it is a date related operations. Next part is how much memory needs to be allocated, because without the allocating the memory means your RAM. Without allocating the RAM in the space in the RAM, the program cannot do anything. In the modern day, or in the digital era, or in the digital platforms, all the data will be saved in the form of a, what is it? Only the format computer can understand. What is the format? What is the format it understand? Only the digital zeros and ones.
Zero and
Nothing it
ones.
can understand. Okay, it is going to convert into your binary format. Okay, how to convert? You can just check how to convert a number into binary. 5, 2 5 are 10, and remainder is 0. Okay, then 2 2 are 4, then remainder is 1. You can Google it. Okay, 2 1 are 2, the remainder is 0. This is the binary format of a 10. So it needs, each one is called 1 bit. 0, 1 bit, 1 bit, 1 bit. This is called 4 bits. A 10 is represented using a 4 bit. The smallest storage unit in the computer is a bit. This is your example 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is called 8 bits is called 1 byte. Okay, the smallest storage unit ever we have in the storage is called 1 bit. Such 8 bits is called 1, 8 bits. 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. Okay, so 1 bit, the smallest storage we call the bit is an 1 bit. Okay, so such 8 bits is called 1 byte. So it is going to save 1 0 1 0. Remaining all is filled with 0 0 0. This is how the binary format of a number 10 will be represented. So to save this number, how much data allocation it needs to be, how much memory should allocate. So that says again, one program to other program, it varies. But how much needs to be allocated? Example, I should allocate 2 bytes or 10 bytes, 100 bytes. Who is going to making a decision? Again, it's a data type. That's a very, very two important useful of the data type is, one is a kind of an operations to be performed, that is already you've seen it. Other is amount of data memory needs to be allocated. There are useful two important things of the programming or a data type is, first you already understood kind of operations to be performed is determined by data type. Correct? Second one is what is going to do? Amount of memory to be allocated is determined by data type. Now you can ask me, sir, why we should be data type making such a decision? Simply we allocate for everyone 4 bytes. What will happen is the amount of memory getting allocated to your program is more. Example, you have a variable of 10 variables of integer, 10, 20 variables of integer, and 10 variables of float, and 5 variables of string. Without appropriately allocating the memory, you think blindly, example, float is taking 8 bytes. For every variable I'm going to allocate, I don't care whether it is integer, float, string, simply allocate 8 bytes. I do not care. Then what will happen? The kind of memory required for your programming will be large, because instead of for allocating a 4 bytes, you allocating an 8 bytes. How much extra you allocate total? Quick mathematics. 4 into 20, 80 bytes where memory getting wasted. Here also fine, here also you are getting 80 bytes of data. So the amount of memory is getting allocated will be immense. That's the reason the programming languages are such a way designed. The moment you declare a data type, first thing they allocate the appropriate memory. Then why we should appropriately allocate the memory? It's not your job. It is how the programmings are designed internally. This is a fundamental of the programming concepts. You're going to learn it in semester 1 of your engineering. Unfortunately, no one is learned. I don't know why. You people, your teachers should have been taught this all. Okay, I don't know why they're not taught. But this is a fundamentally a programming when they design, they call compilers. That's how the programming. The first thing they do is they understand how to interpret the data. Based on the interpretation of the data, they try to allocate the data type. Based on the data type, they internally try to allocate the space. Example, this typical example, I give this example to all of my students. So as your memory footprints or allocations going more and more and more, your performance of the programs comes down and down and down. Take a typical example. I asked Nitish, go and find a pen on my table in the room on the top of my floor. I have a room. In that room, I have a table in the corner. Find a pen. He will not look into anywhere. He simply goes to the room, open the door, go to the table. He look on the table, where is the pen? He get the pen and come. The amount of time will be proportional to the amount of space he's going to search. Where is searching? He's searching only on the table, because I clearly told the allocation of memory. The allocation of the space is only the table. If what I say, Nitesh, go and find a pen in a room, he has to search a big room because the proportion of the time he searches is proportional to the amount of space, amount of the memory program has to scan. The program, the time he'll take is, instead of taking 5 minutes, maybe it started taking 30 minutes because room is big. We never know where the pen is. We need to scan and find it. Take a next example. I say, Nitish, I'm in office. Nitish, please get the pen from home. His life is in tremendous, terribly wrong because he has to find everywhere in the home. It should be in the bedroom, it should be in the hall, it should be in anywhere, nowhere, no matter where it is. The amount of time he's going to search is proportional to amount of the space he needs to scan. That's the reason the programming languages will behave very badly when by any mistake you allocate more spaces. So that's the reason you going to declare a is an integer. Internally, the moment you declare integer a, programming languages come to know you don't need so much of memory. You need only 2 bytes. It allocates only 5 bytes for a. When you declare b as a float, internally it understands you need a more space because you are going to put a decimal points. It allocates more. So that's the reason these two should be fundamentally should be learning before learning any programming languages. Data types in the two ways are very helpful. One is kind of an operations to be determined is determined by data type, and amount of the allocation memory to be allocated is also determined by the data types. But did I making a decision? Anything I'm making a decision here. Did I'm going to tell integer a is an integer, b is a float, c is a string? Did you ever do in our Python? Did ever any time you see I'm declaring a as an integer, b is a float? But in other programming, without declaring like this, you cannot write a program. Never. Impossible. Without a declaration is called forward variable declaration. Without doing this, you cannot write any program because there the life of the variable is a static. That means throughout the life of the program, a he is behaving as an integer, b is behaving as a float. That is called a static type programming. All the programming except the Python and the Ruby, there is hundreds of programming. They're all are called static. That means once you declare a data type of the variable, that's it. You cannot change it throughout the life. So you cannot change the data type of the variable throughout the life. Okay, what is it meaning? Here in the Python is a dynamic type programming. We do not going to declare a data type of the variable. Then how the data type will be determined? The data type will be determined based on the data you give to the variable. The data type will be internally determined. That's called dynamic type programming. Clear? What is the type? Static type programming. Static type programming is the one where you are declaring the forward declaration of the variable. Forward declaration means you are going to declare a data type of the variable before using it. But in Python is called dynamic type programming. You are not going to declare a data type of the variable. The program itself is going to determine the data type of the variable based on the value we give. Now look at here. What is a data type now? Integer is a data type. A same variable I am going to apply float. I am going to put a float. Type is a. Now look at here, it is become a float. So here so dynamic, but this is not possible. And again look at me one more time. I say a is equal to what is going to be now? What is the data type of a? It is going to be string. Each time it is going to change its data type at runtime itself. I am not going to tell what is your data type. Python itself as a so intelligent, it is going to make a decision what is the data type to be based on the data you give. And a single variable at any time can have one value but of a different data types. This kind of programming is not possible in Python other than Python. Anyone know any programming language in as of now? Can you save a different values to a same variable data type? Is not possible. It throws an error called a type error because it is already fixed the memory allocation for when the moment you say a is an integer, would have been allocated 2 bytes. But when you try to save string, it says I cannot to save that value within the allocated memory. It starts a throwing in error called a type error. That's the difference between hello. Okay. Message ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. Okay. People don't have a sense. They lost a sense in the modern day. She thinks only she is my student. I have 100 students. She don't even bother to text. Simply calling me 100 times for morning. Okay. So this is what called dynamic type programming. Anyone not understood concept, please let's explain. This is a very fundamental thing. You should be knowing how Python is working. Otherwise, the whole purpose of learning Python is no use. Guys, please help me. Understood, not understood? This is your preparation day.